For some reason, this video has been taken down a couple times. Let's try it one more time here. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 10. Cast out the scorner, and contention shall go out. Yea, strife and reproach shall cease. Who would you say the scorner is? I would say it's the media and the news. They're the ones who's really spreading the dis or the misinformation. You know it, I know it, and the American people know it. They're not telling the truth. So why do you spend your time listening to them and woeing every time they say something bad and cheering every time they say something good? Don't listen to them idiots. They're lying to you. Anyway, let me get to this and I'll try to make this short. Let's say you were took up into the clouds with a couple of angels and you're far back, high above the clouds, and you can see every nation in the entire world. And you look over and you see Israel, which is starting to blossom like a rose, just as God said it would at the end of time. And then you look over here and you see this land, land of the free, home of the brave, the land of our ancestors who spilled their blood. But it's the most beautiful land in all the world. It yields the most beautiful crops, the best food. It has been the envy of every nation ever since it was born, because we have been free. Well, now that they're doing this misinformation or disinformation thing in Washington, which is no different than the KGB, if you go against the grain or you say anything that the government don't want you to say, then you're pretty much committing a crime, and they can jail you for that. So there goes your First Amendment. But anyway, you're up there and you're looking at that. The place where God made man over the beasts of the field, the fowls of the air, the fish of the sea. And you look down and you look a little closer and you see thousands and thousands and thousands of pigs that have been slaughtered. Why? Because of cow gas. And then you look over here and you see a man, an elderly man, who has grown all these deer from little baby, ever since they were fawns and stuff. And he owns hundreds and hundreds of acres and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of deer. And they want to go now and kill all of his deer because they're afraid that they're letting off emissions or something like that into the atmosphere or whatever that could be dangerous in this. So I seen the video on that, and it hurts this man to the core to think that they're going to come and kill his deer because he's attached to them. And then you look over here and you see these hundreds and hundreds of thousands of fish that have been just killed, just slaughtered. And why are they doing that? Because they just may be carrying something. They're not sure, but they just may be carrying something. So, but just to be on the safe side, and also for, the reset, and so everything will get better in the atmosphere and everything. So they slaughtered all these fish, and they also didn't restock any of the rivers and lakes. And they're going to do that for a couple years to see if it helps to recover as a nation. Well, what that does is that makes it to where you can't fish. In fact, fishing will be illegal. Why would it be illegal? Because you may just be reeling something poisonous out of the water that may spread a contagion to everybody. Ignorance. And you're not allowed to farm. And they're also allowed to come on any farm in America with these new laws and stuff they're passing. And just go onto your farm and take your 100,000 cattle or your 50,000 cattle or your even just your 100 head of cattle. If they think that there may be a problem as far as too much gas coming out or something like that, they can slaughter every animal you got and you can't do anything about it. What's free in that? Okay, but then you look around and you notice how they're destroying all the poultry, all the major food plants, all the beef, all the places that make all the fertilizer, all the places that the largest pet food suppliers and stuff like that. And they're suddenly just getting blown up and burned down and planes flying into them systematically. Why? And then you look over here and you see this $1 billion industry of hens where they lay eggs. In fact, this guy had just put a bunch of money into AI to where this AI hand weighs these eggs out one at a time and this and that and produces the very best of eggs. So that makes that guy a very profitable return. And then suddenly they find one case of avian flu. And used to what they would do is they would take the bird out and see if there's any other birds that got that flu and test them and then continue producing the eggs, the chickens, the food that we need to survive. But what they did is they slammed the doors, set the place on fire with all the hens in it and burned them alive. I remember when Peter would see somebody on the red carpet and flip out. Where's Save the Whales at? What about Save the Fish? Why isn't someone in an uproar about all this? This is ridiculous. And then over 300, almost 400 workers got fired, laid off. There's no more job there. And they don't plan on rebuilding. And so then you got to ask yourself a question. Why would that man do that to his $1 billion industry unless someone above him gave him a good reason or told him it's time to close that down? Do you see a pattern here? So here you are up above the clouds and you're looking at all these beautiful nations and you see the most beautiful one, the most prosperous one that has lived off the back of their ancestors' prayers for the last 70 years. And you look at it and you look how wicked and evil it's become and stuff. But here's the thing, you look over at this angel and that angel and you can't help it. You point down and you'll be like, why would these people starve themselves out on purpose? Why would these people destroy their own nation? And I ask you, and you ask others, why would we destroy our own nation? Good day and God bless.